Well, everybody, I certainly took a little bit of a break here for a few weeks just from making videos. I really needed a little bit of time off, but I've moved now, and I'm back to talk about something that I thought was kind of interesting, kind of disappointing as well, and that was Destiny 2's Warmind. And I don't have a full review of it yet at all. I've been thinking about doing that. I'm not sure if I will end up doing a full review. Maybe I'll just do a roundup talking about my thoughts on it. But something more immediate with Warmind is the strike issue. Now, there's actually two strike issues going on right now. There's a smaller one, that's that the strikes towards the sword are not counting for all players. You know, there's this quest to unlock a weapon once you beat Warmind, right? And one step of that quest is to play through these strikes. Those strikes aren't counting for all players, and Bungie's looking into that right now. The bigger problem is that right now there are 3 strikes added with the Warmind expansion. That doesn't sound like a small amount, right? It sounds pretty par for the course. Maybe one of those is a recycled story mission. Maybe 2 are new that weren't story missions. That would be normal. That's not actually the case here. So if you were on PlayStation 4, there are 3 strikes. On every other console platform, and not even console, every other platform, so PC and Xbox, there's only 2. Both of those are recycled story missions. They're the last 2 story missions of Warmind. Now, the 3rd strike, that's only available on PlayStation 4, and that strike is called Ignition Terminus. So, there's a couple of weird things with this one. First off is that it's not on Mars. It actually takes place on Nessus, and that's the new... It's not a new area. That's an area that was in the base game. That can be ignored, right? It's still a different mission. You go back to Nessus, you take care of something new on Nessus. Okay, whatever, like, you can look past that. The problem is that this strike is PlayStation exclusive, and it's the only new strike added, which means that those other 2 platforms, they don't get any new strikes. The strikes that they get, the 2 that they get, are just recycled story missions. PlayStation 4, will actually get that 1 new exclusive strike, and then those 2 recycled ones. So this is a bit of an issue for a lot of players. There's a lot of fans on Xbox One and PC that are pretty understandably upset and annoyed by this. Those players are looking forward to playing through Heroic Strikes. The Heroic Strike playlist is something fun for players to do to get Vanguard rewards. And they're not really getting anything new out of that playlist. They're getting those 2 recycled story missions. That's a bit of an issue. The Destiny exclusive deal with PlayStation has always been a bit of an issue in the sense that there are always these exclusive things on PlayStation. Sometimes it's just a few sets of armor. Sometimes it might be, a strike. There were PlayStation exclusive strikes in Destiny 1, but those usually weren't at the cost of giving nothing to the other platforms. Those platforms would get less, but it wouldn't seem like a ripoff. Another issue is that you're charging the same price for the DLC on Xbox One as you are on PlayStation 4. So what's the deal with that? The one on PlayStation 4 comes with more content. The one on Xbox and even on PC comes with less. Why is that the same price? It just... The logic doesn't really make sense or add up with this DLC and the pricing scheme because of this oversight. And my issue is I don't even think it was an oversight. I think this is obviously a calculated move and a choice to try to get people over to PlayStation. I'm sure that with this deal, Bungie got a lot of money out of PlayStation to bring these exclusive things to the PlayStation brand. And I understand that that's how exclusivity works. I just have an issue with it when it's robbing the other ports of that game of a ton of content. And I've always had that problem with these exclusivity things. If it's just going to be like a little thing here or there, or like a little tidbit to be like, hey man, you're on PlayStation, well, here you go, enjoy this. I don't really care. But if it's going to be like, oh, by the way, these other platforms get nothing new, and PlayStation gets the only new thing. And even that new thing is not that good. What's going on here? There's an issue here. There's a real disconnect between Bungie and the community on this one. And I want to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt. I keep wanting to give them the benefit of the doubt and enjoying their game. And I do play Destiny. I played Destiny 1. I play Destiny 2. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not, there's the meme like, oh, people still play this game? Oh, yeah, they do. They do play this game. It's fun. It's a fun game. The issue is it's got a lot of problems. And I think it's good that the community addresses these problems. Now, there's ways to do that. Obviously, if you're addressing a problem with a video game, you don't, send death threats to game developers or something like that. But in my opinion, there's a very obvious disconnect between the people who are releasing this game and the people who are playing it and trying to enjoy it. There's a pretty big divide between those two groups, and I don't really understand where it's going to end. Every time they do something wrong, they say like, oh, we'll learn from it, we'll do better, we'll fix it. It seems a little bit like an abusive relationship at a certain point. Not in terms of severity, but I just mean like there's this group that is almost taking advantage of you. This relationship is not healthy. Instead of having two people on equal playing fields, right? You would have the consumer and the creator or the producer. You have the creator or producer basically being abusive in a commercial sense to the consumer and being like, oh, but come back, I'll be better. Come on, please give me another chance. I'll be better. Okay, just next time I'll be better. I promise you. I'll do better. We got the friend game. We're working it out. We'll be doing better next time. When is next time? When is it? The Taken King was the only next time that actually ever followed through. And it was better than the original game. That's sad. That's really sad that that's even the case, but that is the case. The Taken King story and content was far better than the original Destiny's game. And when Rise of Iron came out and was just a complete letdown, comparatively, it was pretty obvious that the developer was starting to head back down the road that it did with The Dark Below and with the House of Wolves. And then the Curse of Osiris came out for Destiny 2. We thought, oh, it's just a tiny little DLC. Oh man, that was a little disappointing, but oh well, it'll be better next time. Like they understand what they're doing. This was just to hold the community over, fill in some gaps about Osiris, whatever, it'll be better. Now we have the Warmind. It's still not better. Like, there's so much cool stuff in this DLC. Like, I don't want to undersell it. I really like some of the armor. I like some of the Season 2 items that they've added. I had a lot of fun, like, looking around on Mars. There was a lot of promise with Rasputin. I don't think it was fleshed out. They didn't really do a lot with it, but there was promise there, and once again we've hit this point where there's no follow-through. And I want to say that I don't understand why the community is falling off of this game. I want to say, like, hey, everybody, just give it a chance. It's really fun. It's really great. I'm starting to hit a point where I can't really say that. I don't know how many more chances Destiny should get. I really don't. I'm a huge fan of the world, the Destiny world. I like the lore. I actually read the armor stuff. I read the Grimoire. The Books of Sorrow were amazing. The story of Oryx and, of Zol. These I don't remember the exact names of the worm gods, but Zol was one of the worm gods. Those guys were amazing, and how they tied together with Oryx from the third DLC, and then how that tied together with Crota from The Dark Below. That stuff from Destiny 1, really interesting to me. That world building is one of the things that kept me invested in the game. It certainly wasn't the PvP of Destiny 1, and it's not the PvP of Destiny 2. And I'm just starting to wonder, like, how much criticism can this game take without doing anything about it? I thought the Taken King was going to be the start of this new type of path for Destiny. I wrote off the misstep of Rise of Iron as just, well, they were already working on this. There's no way they could have made a massive DLC again. It's fine, whatever. And I'm just starting to wonder if the people who are making Destiny care about it as much as I do. And if that's funny, you know, like, oh, wow, people care about Destiny. How can anyone like this? You know, whatever, fine. I don't care. That can be amusing to people, that's fine. That meme is funny to people. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I enjoy what I enjoy. But at this point, unless there's some massive climate change in this game, I gotta say that, like, with Destiny 3, I don't think I'll be getting it, at least right away. Maybe eventually. But I'm really tired of buying games from this company and waiting years for them to be the promised product. I'm just tired of it. In the meantime, I do have stuff, you know, I'm sure I will play Destiny 2 some more. Not hardcore, but I enjoy it with one of my best friends, and we play it together, and it's just a fun experience. I like the world. I'm not saying like I'm burning my copy, but I certainly understand why people have lost faith in this game, and I really think that this PlayStation strike issue really just kind of is another cog in the machine of that whole process. You know, Bungie, like, you wonder what's going on with this game, with the community, why people meme at you and say that you were a better developer when you made Halo. This kind of stuff is why. It's just, it's disappointing, it's ridiculous, and it really needs to change. Because you're really kind of just shitting into the mouths of the few people who still like what you are trying to sell at this point. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you a fan of Destiny? Do you completely hate Destiny? I mean, valid points on either side. I would just like to know, you know, where you stand and why you think that. I've done my best to explain what I think about this, and I will be interested to see where the game goes from here. I've tried to talk about it less, just because even though I enjoy it, I don't want it to be the main thing that I do. But I don't know, just stuff like this I feel like I need to talk about because it really bothers me, and I think that the people who make these products should be held to a higher accountability than they are. No one really seems to care about what they do, and as long as a lot of these publishers or game developers can sell something, it seems like they don't care what state it's released in. And I don't know if that's necessarily true of Bungie. You know, I can't read this company's minds collectively. I know there's people on that staff that really care about this franchise. Maybe they should be the ones leading this leading the franchise, because to me, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like the people who are driving this forward now and giving the green light on content creation really seem to care about the world or the players playing it. I could be wrong. You know, I don't want to slander anybody, but that's the impression that I've gotten. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Appreciate you sticking it out, and peace.